If I ask you to describe what your best friend, your husband, your wife, or your child looks like in Spanish, could you do it? Could you tell me about their height, their hair, and even their eye color?
If not, fear not, Spanglish friends, because by the end of this episode, you'll be able to describe someone else's appearance using simple beginner's Spanish with confidence. Let's do it, Spanglish amigos. Welcome to Spanglish Friends, the podcast for true beginner Spanish learners.
Hola amigos, I'm Val, your experienced Spanish teacher and co-host from Venezuela.
And I'm Em, your Australian co-host who's been learning Spanish for 10 years.
We'll help you get confident listening and speaking beginner Spanish with content you can actually use in real-life conversations.
Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on socials at Spanglish_friends. Let's get started.
Comencemos.
Bienvenidos, Spanglish friends. Welcome back to another episode. And as always, welcome if this is your first time ever joining us. Welcome to our global community of Spanglish learners.
Bienvenidos a nuestro episodio 53. 53 episodes of you pressing play and choosing to learn Spanish with us every week.
Today's episode is another really fun one because we're learning how to describe what someone looks like in Español.
Importantísimo. Super important. This is one of those skills that suddenly opens up so many conversations in Spanish. Talking about your friends, your family, or someone you just met, someone who is important to you. And we're keeping it simple today with 3 things every beginner needs to start describing others in Español.
That's right. So today you're going to learn 3 key things. First is how to describe someone's physical traits, such as their height, what they look like, using the verb ser, which means to be. Secondly, we're going to learn how to talk about someone's hair and hair colors, using tiene el pelo. And finally, we're going to learn how to describe someone else's eye color as well, using tiene los ojos.
Pero primero, but first, vamos a hacer una conversación pequeña. We are going to have a mini conversation. Em and I are going to describe our best friends, nuestros mejores amigos.
That's right, describing what they look like. Then we're going to break everything down so you can start describing and using everything that we're teaching you in just under 10 minutes. So remember, the goal, friends, is not to understand every word in the conversación pequeña. It's just to be able to start familiarizing yourself with the ones you already know and saying to yourself with confidence, yes, my Spanish listening skills are improving. Woohoo!
¿Lista, mi mejor amiga Em?
Sí, lista, profe Val. I'm ready. Comencemos.
Hola Em, descríbeme a tu mejor amiga físicamente.
Hola Val. Pues mi mejor amiga se llama Jess. Es un poco baja y delgada. Tiene el pelo rubio y largo y tiene los ojos azules. También es muy simpática. Y Val, descríbeme a tu mejor amigo.
Ah, qué bonita. Bueno, mi mejor amigo se llama Mateo. Él es alto y tiene el pelo castaño y los ojos verdes. Él es muy divertido y siempre cuenta chistes.
Me encanta. Suena como una gran persona. Perfecto, amigos. In that little conversation, Val and I have just taught you how to describe your best friends and people in your life in Español.
Vamos a comenzar. Let's start. The first thing people often notice about someone is their height or general appearance, right?
That's right. And to describe this in Spanish, we use the verb ser, which means to be. How do we use this, Profe Val?
You heard this in the mini conversation when Em described her best friend. She said, ella es un poco baja y delgada.
Yes, and es is from the verb ser, which means he or she is. So I was saying she, my best friend, is a little short, un poco baja y delgada, and slender and slim.
And I also described my best friend Mateo using ser. I said, él es alto, using their es. meaning he is tall.
So already from those two sentences, you've just learned two very useful adjectives. Do you remember what adjectives are? They are describing words. So we've said alto or alta, which means tall, or bajo or baja, which means short. Remember, if it ends in O, it goes with the flow. We need to change its ending based on the gender to match the thing that we're talking about. So let's try a few examples you could use in real life. Profe Val.
You could say, mi amigo es alto. My friend is tall. Mi hermana es baja. My sister is short. Mi novio es delgado. My boyfriend is slim.
Super bien, Profe Val. Now let's talk about hair. The word for hair in Spanish is pelo, P-E-L-O, pelo. And just like in English, we need to say that someone has a certain hair color. So this is where we switch to using the verb tener, which means to have.
The structure here is very simple. You would say, tiene el pelo, like has the hair, plus the color. Let's see some examples.
So in my mini conversation description of my best friend, I said that Jess tiene el pelo rubio y largo. Breaking that down, that means ella tiene blonde, long hair.
Qué bien. And when I describe my friend Mateo, I said, él tiene el pelo castaño. Él tiene, he has, el pelo castaño. Castaño in Spanish would be like brown to describe hair color. It's brown, so we would say brown hair. El pelo castaño.
That's right. And remember the ordering of words in Spanish as well. So literally, tiene el pelo castaño in English would translate to he has the hair brown. So we don't put the brown before the hair. We need to put the adjective, the describing word, the color after the noun, the pelo, that thing in the instance. So literally in Spanish, you're saying he has or she has the hair brown. So let's go through some other common hair colors. Profe Val, teach us.
Vamos. Some common ones include rubio, blonde, castaño, brown, negro, black, pelirrojo, red hair.
And you can also add the hair length as well. So you could say, tiene el pelo largo. He or she has long hair. Or tiene el pelo corto. They have short hair. So largo meaning long and corto meaning short.
Entonces, now combining both color and length, you could say things like, mi amiga tiene el pelo negro y largo. This means my friend, mi amiga, has long black hair. Another one, mi hermano tiene el pelo castaño y corto. My brother has short brown hair.
And Profe Val, what do we say if someone doesn't have any hair, if they're bald?
Also, super important. We would say calvo or calva when they are bald.
So es calva or es calvo. So you could say, for example, mi papá es calvo. My dad is bald.
Lol. Now the final thing we used to describe people in our mini conversation was the eye color.
Sí, sí, sí. And once again, we use the verb tener here because we're saying he or she has this color eyes. So the structure you need to use is tiene los ojos plus the color. This means they have the eyes plus the color. Remember, we need to put the eyes before the color. Remember earlier when Val described her best friend Mateo and she said, él tiene los ojos verdes. This means él tiene los ojos verdes, green eyes.
Exactamente. And Em also gave us a very good example when describing her friend Jess. She said, ella tiene los ojos azules. She has blue eyes. Ojos azules.
So, Profe Val, talk us through the most common eye colors that we need to know in Espanol.
Some common ones include marrones, brown, azules, blue, verdes, green.
So, putting it all together, you could describe someone's eye color like this. Mi amigo tiene los ojos marrones. My friend has brown eyes. Mi mamá tiene los ojos verdes. My mum has green eyes.
One important thing to remember, friends, we have two eyes, right? So the color needs to be in plural in Spanish. So we have to say los ojos marrones because we're saying eyes. So marrón turns to marrones. We wouldn't say los ojos marrón, for example. That would be incorrect.
The color needs to match the amount of the object or the thing you're talking about. So, ojos azules, ojos marrones, ojos verdes. So, quick tip for beginners, remember that S at the end of a person's eye color. It's like you're saying blues or greens, like they have eyes greens or eyes blues in English.
Awesome, thank you. Let's quickly recap before we give you the challenge of the week, nuestro reto de la semana, and just how you level up your español today.
Yes, so you've taken away 3 major things. You might want to write these down so it's not just another podcast episode. You actually cement these learnings in your mind. So we had learning number 1. You learned how to describe someone's height using ser. Like when I said, mi mejor amiga es alta. My best friend is tall. The second thing is that you learned how to describe someone's hair color using tiene el pelo. Like when Val said, tiene el pelo castaño, which is he has brown hair. And you learnt that you can add the length of someone's hair using es largo or es corto. It's long or it's short. And the final thing is you learnt how to describe someone's eye color using tiene los ojos plus the color. Like when I said, tiene los ojos azules. She has blue eyes. And Val said, tiene los ojos verdes. He has green eyes.
And just like that, you can now describe what someone looks like in Spanish. Little by little, your Spanish keeps growing, amigos. That's the main character, energy. Congratulations.
Exactamente. So it's time to put your new Spanish skills into practice with our reto de la semana, our challenge of the week. And this week, we want you to describe someone in your life en español, their physical characteristics.
It could be a friend, un amigo, una amiga, a family member, like mamá, papá, hermano, hermana, or even a celebrity if you want to. Try to include 3 things. Uno, first, describe their height using ser. Second, número 2, describe their hair using tiene el pelo. And third, número 3, describe their eyes using tiene los ojos.
Yes, for example, mi amiga es alta, tiene el pelo negro, she has black hair, tiene los ojos verdes, she has green eyes.
Post your sentences in the comments or send us a direct message on Instagram.
Yes, we would love to give you a shout out in an upcoming episode. And speaking of shout outs and Spanish wins, we'd love to give a special shout out to our Spanglish friend of the week, Donna. She messaged us on Instagram to tell us that she recently discovered our podcast and she's already listened to every single episode. And she said she can't wait for the next one. So Donna, this is your shout out. This episode is dedicated to you and your commitment to leveling up your Spanish. Woohoo!
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much, Donna, for supporting us, for listening to the show. Welcome. Bienvenida to the Spanglish Friends community. Thank you, amigos, for listening to us today.
A quick spoiler alert, Profe Van, before we go. Next week, we have another seasonal episode coming your way. We're going to be talking about La Pascua, Easter en Español. It's right around the corner, so get ready to learn how to say things like Easter eggs, chocolate, and common Easter activities in Español.
Keep practicing your Spanish, amigos. Que tengan una maravillosa semana. Have a wonderful week, Spanglish friends. Thanks for listening to Spanglish Friends. We are both so proud of the time you're investing to level up your Spanish skills.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, follow us, leave a rating, or tell a friend about the show. It helps our awesome community grow.
Join fellow beginner Spanish learners by following us on Instagram and TikTok at Spanglish_friends.
Congratulations on taking another step in your Spanish learning journey.
Hasta la próxima, amigos.